touch sin dies. Poison, you're just like me. Just like this one. It's a scream, baby. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back.
Welcome back to my channel, Horror by Scary Mary. So in this video today, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts and theories of what Scream 7 will be like. We haven't heard much in the ways of Scream 7 lately. The last we really heard was that Neve Campbell had stated that the delay of filming won't start until December instead of September, which is okay because as long as it's still greenlit and still going on, I'm glad. And there's been some speculation of whether or not that's true or not, of the delay really truly being because of Neve and Kevin having some other priorities that you have to finish. Some are saying that the reason why they are really delaying is because of possibly some people that they want to be in the film is also delayed the filming because of something else going on first off. But either way, I'm just glad the movie is still going forward. And even if the delay is not necessarily because of Neve and Kevin, because of their filming schedule, and that maybe it could be because of this other person or persons they want to put in the film, I'm okay. As long as whoever is delaying the project is maybe somebody that is in the series in the previous movies, like Mark Kincaid, like Patrick Dempsey or something, or Stu Macher with Matthew Lillard or whatever. Those are a couple that I hope will be in Scream 7. I know a lot of people are Stu believers and believe that Stu's alive and that he is the mastermind, the head of the Ghostface cult, whatever you want to call it, and that believe that he's not really dead. I can agree with that. I'm not mad at that idea. I'm not mad or against that. And there are people that says that their real, original script of Scream 3 was that Stu was the lead of the cult, Ghostface cult, and that they decided not to do that anymore because of the whole Columbine thing that happened during that time. Whether that is really true or not, I have heard a lot of people say that's actually what happened, but of course I'm making it sound like I actually researched this, but I haven't really heard from Kevin Williamson himself or whoever wrote and directed it, Scream 3, if that was really verified or not by them or not. So until I can actually truly find out for sure that that was truly the case for the original script of originally for Scream 3, I'm not going to say that that was the true case for Scream 3. There are a lot of people that swear by that it was the original intent, but I'm not going to, unless you can show me something that proves that. But otherwise, I'm not going to say that that original plan for Scream 3 was him being a cult thing. And it could, because why I think that is that there, of course, for most big popular movies, they like to give out dummy scripts. Well, I'm pretty sure that's what they call them, but I call them dummy scripts, that they will purposely, the director, the writers, whatever, will leak dummy scripts just to kind of get the fans off their case. So unless they can prove otherwise, that they meaning the fans, or if they actually have it, the directors have that actual script saying that it was the original intent, then I will believe that that was the original intent. But anyways, let's go on. I don't mind that theory that Stu is still alive, because technically, as we all know, as a recurring theme with this franchise, that you have to shoot the killer in the head. And Stu technically was not shot in the head. He had a big, heavy-ass TV land on his head. because back then, you know, in the 80s, like, you know, when TVs were first invented, and for the longest time throughout, like, you know, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, TVs were heavy. They're big and bulky and heavy and whatnot. So even though he technically did not have a gunshot shot to his head, he did have a big ass heavy television land on his head. So, and same's to say to Jill in Scream 4, with the whole, she technically didn't have a gun bullet to her head, whatever, either. She had the electrical paddles to her head. Some will say, oh, that doesn't kill her, that just kind of screws up her you know, brain, whatever, and maybe she is alive and survived it and is in a mental institution, blah, blah, whatever. And I can understand that, and I can agree with that. I can see how that goes. And so, kind of similar to that with Jill, with, you know, the scrambling her brain with electrical impulses from that. Similar to that with Stu, with the TV, he got shot. I could see how he can get shocked in the head with the electric, like, you know, since the TV is electronic, you know. Maybe he did survive it and has scars on his face, and maybe similar to that, maybe he survived it and either was put away in an institution, maybe without, you know, Sydney knowing. Maybe Stu's parents paid off the police force. But then again, what gets me is that Dewey would know, because Dewey, of course, as we know, was a police officer. So how they were able to do that without Dewey knowing, that is where it kind of gets me off of that train, because maybe, you know, the police, they still could have done it and just didn't tell Dewey and just kind of covered it up really good to where Dewey couldn't find out. But having Stu's parents pay off the police force to kind of hide Stu's existence or survival is kind of a little too much, just to cover up that, you know, for something small, you know. But anyways, it could happen. You know, it's a movie, it's all fiction, whatever. But it could happen. So especially in these films, you know, they're not all, you know, whatever. But anyway, those are a couple of options. Out of all of them, I'd rather have, like, between, like, Jill and Stu, I'd rather have Stu come back, because he's the original. He's in the original and whatnot. Not that I wouldn't want to have it to be like a family member of, you know, Jill, of Sydney, because Jill is, you know, Sydney's cousin and all that. But with the two, because Jill did it because she wanted to be famous, just to be famous, where Billy and Stu, they did it because, of course, you know, being famous is a plus, but they're really deranged. Not that Jill wasn't deranged or anything, but they did it with all this behind it, and it made, to me, a little bit more sense. But anyway, so that's, as you can see, that's a couple of my theories of what could go on in Scream 7, that, you know, Stu can come back, another person, and we all know that Scream 5 mirrored Scream 1, and Scream 6 mirrored Scream 2, and there's a lot of hope, or, you know, expectation that Scream 7 will mirror Scream 3. And if that's the case, here's a couple of other people I want to come back that were specifically in Scream 3. One of which is my favorite I was about to say non-Scream character. She is a Scream character because she's in Scream 3. But what I mean by that non-Scream character is a new addition, and she was only in this third film. But the person that is my favorite, like, non-original Scream character that was in Scream 3 is Jennifer Jolie. Parker Posey played that, like, you know, she played that character so well. I love Jennifer Jolie. Like, she is my favorite non-original Scream cast member from Scream 3. Like, she was so good in that movie. I love that character. I love that actress, Parker Posey. So funny. So funny, so good. And she acted that out. Like, oh my gosh. And of course, you had an amazing cameo from the late great Miss Carrie Fisher, who played like a secretary slash receptionist in that, and acted like she was, there are people like, oh, even Parker Posey and Courtney Cox were like, oh my gosh, you look like so much like Carrie Fisher. I made fun of it and stuff. It was great. I love it. It was so meta. But anyways, I love Jennifer Jolie. She is one that I hope will be back. And out of all of them, I think that because the second person I'm going to mention in just a minute, Jennifer Jolie is like one of the people in this franchise that I believe truly would fake their death. Just because. I think that, especially after being stabbed by Ghostface a few times and being shot at with the gun with Dewey, and a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, between being stabbed by Ghostface and being shot at by Dewey, she's dead. She's dead. She's for real dead. But if you've seen the movie, and Scream 3 is the movie out of the original 3 especially, and even out of all of the movies of the franchise that I've probably seen the most out of the original. I love Scream 2. I love all the original Scream 3 trilogy. But aside from the original movie, Scream 3 was probably the most watched movie of the 3 movies, that, other than the original, of course, that I watched. Because whenever I would go to like Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or any movie rental place, it always seemed like the first 2 Scream movies were always sold out. So the only Scream movie that was available to rent was Scream 3. So of course I wanted to watch a scary movie and I wanted to watch a Scream movie. So, go with what you know and what you love. So anyway, Parker Posey, I think, because if you rewatch that scene and notice, Dewey does not shoot his gun directly straight on at the mirror. He shoots at the top of the mirror. So he's not shooting, to make sure he's not shooting at whoever it is, because he doesn't know if it's an innocent person or if it's Ghostface. Like, he can't see. So obviously he's going to shoot at the top. So it was just to shoot at the top to break the glass, to help whoever's in there to escape. And then that way, if it's Ghostface, he can shoot him for real. But anyway, so I don't think that she was ever really truly shot by Dewey through the mirror. She was able to escape the mirror, but with the illusion that she was stabbed to death by Ghostface. And so maybe as soon as she fell, and with like the whole, oh my gosh, she is dead, she was stabbed, whatever, with Dewey and Gail, they just looked at her like, and then just assumed she was dead, and then maybe ran off. And then that way, Jennifer Jolie was like, oh my gosh, this is my way. I'm so glad that they didn't check that everyone was alive. Then she can run off and hide. Then that way she could definitely, survive. And so maybe just like the theory with Sue, that maybe she paid off the paramedics, the police, whatever, to kind of go off and hide. Like, let her be, say she's dead. And they were in or near the studio, the Hollywood studio, the movie studio. So maybe if they were to will off Jennifer Jolie's body, it could have been a mannequin, because they have mannequins. It's a movie set. They have mannequins or fake bodies lying around. They could have easily put a mannequin's body in there instead of, whatever. And so, and then another person I want to say I would like to come back is Angelina. So Angelina was the actress hired to play Sydney in the Stab movie of that time. And of course, people were saying she was just a red herring. And that's true, she could have been just a red herring, especially Sydney meeting her in the bathroom stall with, the whole mask and, cell phone and voice changer, whatever. And that could just all be a red herring, sure. But her, even since then, her death was such a freaking, it didn't make sense. It made sense to me, of course, but it just didn't sit well with me. It didn't sit well. It just seemed fake. It's kind of like when Roman faked his own death in the freezer, and Jennifer Jolie lifted up the lid, the freezer lid, and found him dead. To me, that's what it felt like with Angelina as well. That sure, Roman sure could have really killed her to kind of take all the glory and say, hey, I was a single killer, but I don't think so. Maybe she could have done the same thing that in my theory, maybe she did the same thing that Jennifer Jolie just acted dead. And then as soon as Roman disposed of her dead body, she got up and ran. And then all to this day, she's hidden, So same thing. So that could be a way. So Angelina could be dead or could still be alive. And maybe after being the traumatic circumstances and stuff and being a killer and helping Roman, maybe she just decides to come back and help Stu. Because there's just something about the killing that made her kill, It was just so great for her. So those are two people from Scream 3 that I would hope to bring back. And what would be cool is if they brought back Randy's sister again, Martha Meeks. But then I don't know how that would go, especially since the Carpenter sisters, they're not coming back. And Martha Meeks, as we know from Scream 5 and even Scream 6, that she's the mother of the twins. And we're not sure, and I'm not sure actually, we don't know if they're going to bring back the twins or not. And I'm sure that the actors who play the twins probably don't want to come back if Tara and Melissa's character doesn't want to come back. So it would be kind of like a three-edged sword, but it could be a good way to bring back at least some characters from 5 and 6 back. To hear maybe Martha Meeks could be like the opening kill of Scream 7, and maybe that could be a good way for them to bring back the twins to kind of mourn their mother, whatever. And then maybe that could be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fight this Ghostface for my mother, whatever. And then, yeah. And that can connect to Stu as well because, it's Stu's sister, blah, blah, blah. Or not Stu's sister, Randy's sister, sorry. And so it'd be the connection to Randy, having Randy's sister now be dead. It'd be just kind of, because that's also something that has been theorized as well, that a past character be like the opening kill. So Martha Meeks being the opening kill would be a good way. But then again, we don't know. It's all up in the air because, like I said, the twins from 5 and 6, I don't know if they would want to come back because of the whole situation with Melissa Barrera being fired and Tara and then Jenna not wanting to come back either. So we'll just see if that could be something, or they don't need to have the twins come back if they don't want to, honestly. They can just mention the twins, They can just say, oh my gosh, the twins are heartbroken. They're going to be on their way, but we don't see them on the screen. They just mention them. Just like in Scream 6, we don't see Sydney, but we hear from Gail that she's hiding away with her family. Like, they could do something like that. That maybe they shouldn't come back. Maybe the twins shouldn't come back because that's probably what Ghostface wants, is the twins to come back so they can kill the twins too. Yeah, that could be something that they can, work with. But anyway, another person that I hear people say that they want or might think might be the opening kill, like not the killer but the opening kill, is Mark Kincaid. But I don't know if I like that per se, because I would love to have more screen time with Patrick Dempsey with Nev, because we only had a limited amount of time of them in Scream 3, and in Scream 3 they weren't really together. Like, they weren't romantically linked, really. It was only after, like, Scream 4 even, that they got together and got married and had kids. So it would be nice to see that whole lovey-dovey, I'm going to protect each other type of situation with them. But maybe it could be similar to Scream 5, where maybe the opening, there's not necessarily an opening kill. Like, it appeared to be an opening kill in Scream 5, but Tara survives. But maybe it could be like one of Sydney's and Mark's kids get kidnapped, or be in the vein of maybe they get killed or almost get killed, and that gives Sydney the motivation to come, that one of their kids gets kidnapped and said, "You better come, or else I'm going to kill him," type of situation. That could happen. Maybe it could be that the twins could be the opening kill, and that way, in a way, that brings Martha in to the situation to bring another person from Scream 3 in. And then that way, that can kind of conclude not conclude, but like kind of, I guess that's probably the most appropriate word for right now, because I know that a lot of us that have gotten to love the new cast of 5 and 6, we want like a proper ending to that trilogy, but we never really got a proper trilogy for Scream 4 either. But I know with most of us, we wanted a proper end to that 5 and 6 trilogy. But if we're not going to get that, maybe having the twins be the opening kill, and that brings in Martha Meeks to kind of mourn her kids, or kind of be like, hey, I'm fighting for my kids. Whoever killed my kids, I'm going to kill them, you know. And then that could be the, you know, the connection with both the twins from 5 and 6 and for Randy. You know, it was being like Martha being like, hey, you sucker, killed my brother, then you killed my kids. That could be a good motivation. So you can have Cindy and Martha working together to fight this guy. So that could be a good one. And so, anyway, another one that I hope that will come back is probably, like, definitely Kirby. I want Kirby back, because I liked her in 4, and I even liked her in 6. Like, maybe her, and this has also been said, that maybe her and Mark can work together to work, you know, to get whoever Ghostface, track him down, whatever. Just like we were hoping with, you know, with the Scream 6 killer, Bailey, Detective Bailey. But anyway, another person I hope, out of all of them, I wouldn't hate having Jill back, but I'm not saying she's not my favorite Ghostface, or a favorite Ghostface, but she's not my favorite Ghostface. I just found that her Ghostface, like, reasoning is that she wants to be famous. I've never really felt that was a good enough reason. And that's another reason why I'm not the biggest fan of Amber, even though Amber, I think, is kick-ass, and Jill is kick-ass as well, but I just never really thought of them as strong Ghostface, just because they wanted something to do, something to believe in, something to do, you know, just to do, you know. And I know that at the end of the day, that's pretty much what all the Ghostfaces are, is that they were bored and that it gives them something to do, whatever. But yeah, I just never really thought of her as a strong Ghostface, and she pretty much had Charlie do all the hard work, basically, if you really think about it. He was like the muscle behind everything. And which is smart of her, because at the end of the day, but I'm gonna say she's not my favorite, like, when it comes to like just doing it because she can be famous. But I will say she is one of the smarter ghost faces for that reason of having Charlie do most of the grunt work. So then that way, at the end of the day, if she was caught, she didn't blame Charlie. Which, again, it's still not my favorite, but she was still smart about it. But yeah, as much as I liked Jill and thought she was okay, I thought that Charlie was a little bit better. I thought that even though she technically wasn't a ghost face, I just liked Charlie's character more, and I liked Kirby's character a little bit more than Jill's. And anyway, so another person I really wouldn't mind coming back is Joel. Like, Joel would be cool, because then that way you could, like, even though he was only in Scream 2, the actor did such a great job with that character, and he was so funny, he was so clever. He's like, I'm out of here, bye. And he was very smart as well. So, and a lot of people are speculating that he actually married Martha Meeks. So if that's true, then if Martha Meeks come back, that'd be cool to have them together, you know, to help, you know, solve the case of who killed their kids, whatever. But yeah, that would be cool to have him back as well. But Ghostface wise, I wouldn't mind having Stu back. even though I don't, even Ghostface, definitely Stu. That's probably my number one pick. And then number two, even though technically people will say she's not a Ghostface, but I think she was helping Roman in Scream 3, Angelina. Like, I totally think that she was like the second Ghostface of Scream 3. It's just either he really did truly kill Angelina and disposed of her, or she just, like, he stabbed her a couple of times and she acted dead and she's still alive. And so, anyways, I really think that Angelina helped Roman because, you know, Angelina herself said in Scream 3, I didn't sleep with that guy just so I can get the role. So, like, it's not beneath her to, you know, act or do something of some sort to get ahead. So maybe she acted like she was truly dead so she can escape. And then, of course, even though she's technically not a Ghostface either, I just hope her character comes back, Jennifer Jolie. And there has been theories as well that she, too, was also the one to help Roman in Scream 2, that she was the second Ghostface or third Ghostface, however you want to put it. But out of all of them, I don't see how or why she would want to do that. Like, of course she would want to be famous, but I could see it more. I don't know why, but I just see that sort of a type of thing with Angelina more than Jennifer Jolie, because Jennifer Jolie wants to be like an actress and be famous and be kind of like Jill, but over the top, and just she wants to be known, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that's like the same thing as Jill, but I don't know. It just, there's something, the way that Parker Posey like presented that character, that she doesn't seem like that kind of a person to be a killer, you know? She would rather be in the spotlight all the time, and if there's a chance, even the chance of her being caught as a killer, then she can't continue on being an actress, you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have a camera on her or a way to make a movie, you know what I mean? Sure, she could be in prison and they could have come and done some documentaries on her, and so down that way that can get her some exposure, but not in the same way. But Angelina, for some reason, like, she just seems the type. Like, she's like this silent, like this shy but silent type. And those are the kind of people that you want to look out for. The silent but shy type. Like this shy but silent type. And that's her. Like, Parker Posey is just that kind of like over the top, like, oh my gosh, look at me type of thing. And whereas, you know, Angelina is more of like, she likes to act, but she's just like shy and silent and demure. And like, those are the people you want to look out for. And those are more of the, you know, killer types. So anyway, so I wouldn't mind those ones. And of course, it's not is it known? I can't remember because it's been a minute since I watched a Scream video. But is it confirmed that that Patrick Dempsey is coming? I hope. And then, of course, we haven't gotten an okay from the studio or from Courtney Cox that she's returning. But it's pretty much a given that Courtney Cox is going to be in it. I hope. And if not, then maybe she didn't survive. Like, maybe if she doesn't come in and do the film, but maybe at the end of 6 with Melissa, with the Carpenter sister saving her, maybe we find out later that she actually died at the hospital if Courtney Cox decides not to. Or, I haven't watched 6 in a year or so, but maybe somehow throughout the recovery period she does end up passing. So who knows? But we'll see how it goes. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's a little long. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you guys comment down below on what your thoughts and comments are about what's going to happen in the next film. I hope you enjoy your day and stay safe.